Hello, llama calling. Llama calling. Is the sound working okay? Elizabeth, please. Sounds fine, is it good? This is Llama here. This is an impromptu live stream. I believe the sound's working okay. I'm not hoarse anymore now. I can talk now. There's no particular topic tonight, but there's all sorts of things I could talk about. Don't worry, I won't talk for 5 hours. Is the sound still good there, Elizabeth? Who's in the chat room? Who can I see in the chat room? Let's do some Mark Smith style shout outs. I can see Elizabeth, and I can see Karen Lithgow. Hello. I can see there's lots of other people watching, but no one wants to come into the chat room yet. Please do come into the chat room. I like to interact. Thank you, Elizabeth. That sounds good. If anyone wants to, hello, Karen. If anyone wants to shout out, you can come in. Don't be shy. Lots of people there watching, aren't you? Do come into chat. Let's get on with some channel news. I have some excellent channel news because last few days I reached over 200 subscribers, which is very good, isn't it? And guess who my 200th subscriber was? Pardon. Yes, my 200th subscriber. I got a message from YouTube, and it said to me, "So and so's subscribed to your channel." Well, that's interesting. And I thought, well, what's nice? I wonder what my subscribers are like now. And it was 200. have some guesses. See who can guess first who my 200th subscriber was. While you put some guesses into the chat, I'll what other channel news do I have? I have a Facebook channel that I started at the end of last year. I've not really publicised it, but I do have a Facebook page thing. And of course, if you don't already know, I have a second channel. I've not really formally announced it, so I don't really think, on my main channel, but I have a second channel called Paranormal, and I do some of my singing on there and other silly things and other little things. And I talk about some other channels, small fry channels, as someone referred to one of them as. And so do check out my second channel. If you go onto my main channel, you'll see links at the top right to both my Facebook page and to my Karma Lama sister channel. And what else? Oh, so I've made some important announcement videos recently about all these impersonators, because obviously I'm so well known that lots of people want to impersonate me. So I have all these people who want to impersonate my accounts with all these various impersonators, and there's all sorts, and they're all these people trying to create accounts in my name. Don't know who's. Come on, someone just guess. Come on, Elizabeth, guess who's the 200th subscriber. Anyone can guess. Don't be shy, people who are watching. I know you're not in the chat room, but you're very welcome to come in and have a guess. I'm afraid there's no prizes, but don't be afraid to guess. And yeah, so I had to do announcements then about some. No, it wasn't you, Elizabeth. No, it wasn't you. But I will give a prize to the. I will give a prize to the 200th subscriber. I'll give them a special prize. But if you can guess who they are, you won't get a prize. But I do like guessing games. So see if you can think who that might be. It was quite amusing who it was. That's a bit of a clue. Thing is, this person doesn't hide who they subscribe to, so. And also, it's fair to say, they keep on unsubscribing and they keep on subscribing, and each time they resubscribe, I keep getting messages. Mark, as in Mark Smith, Brenda. Hello, Brenda Anderson. No, it wasn't Mark Smith. And Elizabeth knows it wasn't her. No, it wasn't Mark Smith. No. Come on. Guess again. While you're guessing, I'll continue. What was I saying? Yeah, so I had to do some announcements because people keep on creating all these accounts that are in names either similar to mine or identical to mine, because everyone seems to want to be me. Who's E? E, do you mean you? No, it wasn't you, Elizabeth. You know it wasn't you, Elizabeth. And so I had to do a video about that. And of course, Maverick, the PXTV Ultra fan, Mr. Terry, made some videos about me saying that I was X and that he knew I was XYZ, talking a load of shit. And of course, Maverick will believe anything. For example, well, for starters, he believes Mark Smith's entirely genuine, and of course, we know that he pays him regular amounts of money, or at least he did. I don't know if he still does. Probably does. So it's not necessarily the most credible source to know, as he said for a fact, that I'm XYZ accounts when I'm not. But he was most insistent. No, you mean I'll keep? Yeah, maybe I'll come back to that, Elizabeth. And but he was most insistent that he knew that all these other accounts were me. Quite why I would have another account in the same name as me, why I would bother doing that, I don't know. But he was most insistent that that account was me and that another account was me, and apparently I'm everyone. And he was most insistent about it. But he's not really that credible, because You know, he believes in Mark Smith. He'd believe anything, really. And of course, then it transpired that he believed that he had this girlfriend of X number of months, this mysterious girlfriend. And it turned out that he actually had lied to us and that she wasn't real. Now, I'm not mentioning this to be cruel to him about the fact that he got scammed. I'm merely mentioning this in the context that he's someone who's extremely gullible. That's the only reason why I mentioned it. He believed that he had this, just to be clear about that, and he claimed that he had this girlfriend for 4 or 5 months and that he was going to marry her. I don't know if he said that she was pregnant with his baby, but I don't know, maybe I just invented that bit. Maybe I misheard. Anyway, but he made out that he was living with her because he would say that he lived in she was in the other bedroom and she wasn't allowed to talk. Well, the reason you never heard it because she's never there. Not only was she not even there, but she didn't even exist. He thought she existed, but then of course he thinks that I exist as XYZ accounts, but I don't. And it transpired that he'd been scammed and that he'd sent about £1,500 or thereabouts in English equivalent money to someone in the post. That's how kind of shrewd Maverick is, that he would do that. And then it transpired that when he showed us these photos, actually these photos were not of this supposed girlfriend that he had, who he actually transpired that he'd never met this person, although he found himself as a home to live with her, to set up home and start a family with. And then it transpired that he'd only spoken to her twice and he'd never met her, and that that's right, that the photos that he had of her, which was someone very busty female with, looks like she had her boobs done, her lips done, and all the photos, she had all her tits out all over the place. And transpired, as the photos would look like to any sane person who's not so gullible as Maverick, that these photos are actually of some sort of porn star of some kind, some sort of porn model, which it turned out to be. She's some German porn star called Lena or something like that. Lena Giselle or something. And so that's how gullible Maverick is. And I only mention this not to be cruel to the fact that he was scammed, because people sometimes do get scammed in certain ways, which is unfortunate. But the fact, just to demonstrate how gullible he is, and that therefore you really can't trust what he says when he is insistent that he knows that that he claims that he knows that I'm all these other accounts just because someone told him. And his logic for knowing that these other accounts are me are because they have the name Llama in them, so therefore they must be me. Batman's arrived, one of the trolls. I'll come to you in a bit. Yes, Elizabeth and Karen were both right. The 200th subscriber is Eileen Strong. It's all right. I finished about Maverick now, Elizabeth. It's okay. Yes, so my 200th subscriber was Eileen Strong. How ironic. So I'll give Eileen can collect and claim her special prize, and her special prize is that I will do a song for Eileen on my other channel, or maybe on this channel. I don't know. So I'll have to let Eileen know, assuming she's not watching it. Maybe she is. I know she loves to drop in. I'll have to let Eileen know that I'll do a special song for her. Maybe I'll let her choose a song. Maybe we can negotiate it. Or if anyone's got any suggestions in the chat, what song do you think I should sing for Eileen? If you've got any suggestions, let me know. Batman writes, sour grapes, because he outed you on your dirty trick to take down the channel. What do you mean he outed me? He outed me what? What dirty trick to take it down the channel? Please elaborate on that. He didn't out me. What dirty trick to take down the channel? Please let me know. the sound is okay. Just waiting for Batman to see if he's got anything else to add. If anyone's got any suggestions for what song I should give Eileen as a prize to be my 200th subscriber, you're very welcome to put it in the chat. If you've got any suggestions, or if Eileen's listening, maybe if she's got any requests, I might do that. He was your best friend till he said no to your plan, Batman says. Maverick was never my best friend. I don't know where you got that from. Posted me. And what was so bad about my message, my email to him? What was so bad about it? It wasn't me that had a plan to take down. If you're referring to GS Simon's channel, it wasn't me who had some plan to take down Simon's channel. Maverick's been talking about taking Simon's channel down for about, I don't know, God knows how long. Months, a year, I don't know, 6 months. He keeps threatening to do something to take down Simon's channel. I mean, it wasn't so long ago that Maverick said that he regarded Simon and all the people on Simon's channel, he regarded them all as terrorists. And then 2 weeks after he said that Simon was a terrorist and all the people on his channel were terrorists, he then said, "Oh, you're not terrorists anymore. I'm going to ban you all and let you back on my channel." Whereas only 2 weeks prior, he'd labelled them all as terrorists. I sent him a message saying I didn't like Simon. That's well known. I said that I didn't approve of his T-shirt. That's well known. I've been very public about that. I publicly criticised it. I explained why. So there's nothing revelatory about it. Peace broke out. Well, I think that's yet to be seen. Well, quite how you can call it. We forgot someone's a terrorist and other people terrorists, and then 2 weeks later, about turns say, "Oh, we don't deem them to be terrorists anymore." Say that peace broke out. Certainly, I agree that they were attempting to reconcile each other, but then Maverick was being quite insistent that he wanted Simon to retract and that he accused him of having gone to jail. And I think Maverick made it. Simon actually made a clear retraction, which he didn't really do. But I didn't have to take down channel. I didn't have any attempt or idea to take down Simon's channel. Assuming that's what you're referring to, I merely expressed that I didn't like him. That was well known. So there's nothing new there. It's Maverick who keeps threatening to take Simon's channel down and keeps saying that he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do this, he's going to put on all these copyright claims that he never did. Yeah, sorry, I've got a message. I think the may have stopped now. Did you miss anything I said? Did it cut out? Yeah. If there's a buffering problem, I don't know what's causing that. I don't usually have that problem. It probably will go away and be okay now. Is it still buffering now, or is it okay? I wanted to join him, take down his... No, I didn't want to join him. I merely suggested that it would be interesting to keep in contact privately to see what he was doing. What have I ever done to thank you? It's okay now, good. Okay. I think it was just a temporary thing. I don't usually have a problem with my internet. It's usually quite good. So thank you for letting me know, though, in the comments. And if you do have any suggestions about what song I should do for Eileen Strong for her prize to be my 200th subscriber, do let me know. I know that she does like my songs. man, there was no plan to be revealed. I had no plan to take down Simon's channel. How would I do that? As far as I'm concerned, I gave Simon 2 challenges last year, and he bottled on both of them. I proved that he couldn't back up all his bullshit that he talks when he's drunk, and he shut up about it. So as far as I'm concerned, I was done with Simon. To find out what Maverick's latest plan of attack is concerning Simon, that's always quite interesting and amusing. But yeah, if Priest has broken out, let's see how long it lasts. For example, it may be that it doesn't last particularly long after tonight, of course, because there was a nice bit of drama on Simon's channel this evening, wasn't there? With who was there? I saw that GoB was there. I assume it was Lee, and John Sixth Sense was there. I don't know if Mark was there at some point. I don't know. I didn't catch it all. But they were having a nice little ding dong. And Simon was back to his usual self. I saw that there were claims that there were threats that were being made. Can anyone expand on that? I don't know. I only caught the back end of it. And then Mark and GoB went live. I don't understand why is John Sixth Sense sniffing around with Mark Smith when they're doing all these joint lives together loads. I mean, it was odd enough that Ghost of Britain GoB keep doing all these lives with Mark Smith all the time. I mean, I know they go back a long way, the two of them, Lee and Mark, but I don't get it, because don't GoB realise that by hanging around with Mark, it doesn't do their reputation any good. But they've been doing that a long time. But then for John Sixth Sense to start getting involved with, I mean, I can understand why he gets involved with GoB as an issue of solidarity, because of the stuff that's kind of been going on the last few months that's both been involving them and affecting them. But why John Sixth Sense wants to get involved with Mark Smith, I don't understand at all. I mean, I don't see that he gets any benefit out of it. I mean, surely it's going to be detrimental to his reputation of his channel and what he does, or his Facebook group rather. But he didn't seem to see it. I don't get it. Does anyone know? Is it true that Mark Smith is bunking up at the Ghost of Britain poltergeist house? Because that's the rumour, isn't it? That Mark Smith and his girlfriend are hanging out at they're hanging out at the living at the poltergeist house. But I would think that's doubtful, actually, from an insurance perspective, because surely the insurance that GoB have on that place will not cover if someone's actually residing there. It wouldn't. I don't think it would cover for that, because they're using it for a purpose that it can't be insured for. So I'm not suggesting that there's nothing to it, but I don't know. I'll be a bit surprised, because I think from an insurance perspective that could be quite dangerous. But clearly they are up here, Mark and his girlfriend. Has anyone seen the messages that the mother of Mark's girlfriend put on Facebook? around late December, early January. They were quite interesting. Has the buffering issue stopped now? Is the signal working okay? Maybe someone could just let me know in chat, please. Is the sound and the signal working okay? Has the buffering stopped? No, Elizabeth writes she hasn't been on Facebook in a while. Well, it wouldn't be a place where you could easily see. Thank you, Elizabeth. It sounds still good. Signal's still good. Thank you. Well, it was the mother of Mark Smith's girlfriend posted stuff all over her Facebook account page publicly just after Christmas time, around New Year. It transpired that Mark has been living at the house of his girlfriend's parents, but according to what the mother posted, she's very unhappy. Because of Mark Smith, she's become estranged from her daughter. And on Christmas Day, Mark Smith was playing up, and she kicked him out of the house. So Mark Smith was kicked out of the house, along with, what's her name? Natasha, Natalie, is it? I can't remember. I forget. Natasha. They got kicked out of the house, and I think she became estranged from her mother because of it. But presumably she's up north now, not right down there. Karen writes, Lee stopped the live stream from the museum. You mean, are you referring to a particular live, or you just mean generally? Are you suggesting that it's indicative that maybe that's because Mark's living there? But that building, that so-called poltergeist house, is quite big. There's quite a lot of floors and there's quite a lot of space. So if they just needed somewhere to bunk up, I think you could still, there'll be plenty of space for it, I reckon. It's just a rumour. I'm not suggesting that I necessarily believe it. But presumably she's living up here now because she's always on his lives. If you notice that people keep remarking, whenever she's on the lives with Mark Smith, she always looks quite miserable. She isn't very happy. I think she's a bit starstruck by him, but maybe that's wearing off now. I don't know. But I really wish that GoB would stop doing their lives with Mark Smith. It doesn't help their reputation whatsoever. But I don't know what it is. Why Lee feels this loyalty to Mark. And why does Mark whenever Mark does his live investigations, why does Mark Smith never use his psychic skills? I never see him ever do that. Something I agree with Eileen on is that I really don't like it when God keep using that bloody parrot all the time. There's a lot of needle between Eileen Strong and Lindsay of GoB, Gobby Gob Lindsay. I see that Eileen Strong was slugging her off in GS Simon's live chat tonight on his live stream when GoB were hanging around with John 6th there. I think Eileen was referring to her Lindsay's age and suggesting that she was implying that Lindsay was old enough to be Lee's mum. I think Eileen keeps on saying that Lindsay must be in her 50s. I think she's got a thing where she thinks that she looks younger than Lindsay or something. I don't quite get it. But I think Eileen's got a real needle about Lindsay. Of course, there was that thing where after Eileen was doing one of her regular slagging off of GoB and making all these one of these so-called reviews that Eileen likes to do, which basically consist of making ad hominem attacks about Lee and Lindsay. It doesn't really get down to the nitty-gritty of the content of what they actually do. I'm not quite sure how that counts as a review, but Karen, do you think that maybe I've inferred wrongly what you wrote. Do you think that GoB are no longer streaming from the Poltergeist house because Mark Smith's residing there? Or have I misinterpreted what you're trying to say? Yeah, so as I was saying, Eileen Strong was making all these nasty attacks on GoB late last year, back to form. And that prompted Lindsay to, on her own personal page, post about Eileen. And then they got into a bit of a feud about who was bullying who. And of course, if you listen to Eileen, she never bullies or trolls anyone if you listen to Eileen. As you can tell by my tone, I don't believe that Eileen is a really bad troll and bully, as are a number of people on her channel. And I don't know whether it's still the case, but it caused one of apparently Eileen's only and long-term friend in quote real life to abandon Eileen as a friend because of the stuff that she was reading about Eileen. Something I will say is that I've noticed over the last, last maybe 6 weeks, I sense that Eileen's general manner has changed quite significantly to how it used to be. She seems in a much better mood. I think it may be to do with the fact that maybe I think she's regained access to her granddaughter, who she hadn't seen for 5 years because she's estranged or was estranged from her daughter. And I think she's now having access again to that grandchild. And I get the impression that it's causing Eileen's mood to be much improved. And that Eileen has, over the last, say, 6 weeks, has generally been a lot better in tone and mood and general demeanour. I think it seems to have a very positive effect on her. But then as tonight, that needling bitchiness never goes away. It's always there underlying. If you see some of the comments she was making about Lee and Lindsay, she loves having a go at them. But her channel isn't really a review channel anymore, if it ever was. It's just more just very much now just a general chit chat channel. Karen writes, I don't know. Mark said on a live to Natasha, I'm stopping at yours tonight. So Natasha must have a property up here. Oh, okay. But then maybe he was just saying that as code to mean something else. Don't know. Maybe she's found a place up here because she's got, I think, at least a couple of children, hasn't she? So maybe she's found a place up here, being, I presume you mean like the South Yorkshire region. And Mark's found a nice, cosy situation again. Yeah, Karen writes, yeah, you think maybe that was just like code to mean something else, or maybe she has found a place up there. Sorry, this is just random gossip, rumour. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be engaging in that, maybe I should, I don't know. What's happened to Kenny, the one who from GoB? What's happened to? Is he not well or something, or has had some sort of issue? I've not heard from Lee in a long time. I did try to email him in the new year, but I didn't hear back from him. So I don't know what's happened about that book situation, because there was that book, that libelous book thing, but I don't know how that developed. Whatever happened about the ashes, the so-called partial ashes of Myra Hindley? Did GoB ever explain to anyone how that story progressed? Because I haven't noticed that they ever have. I mean, it would be good if they explained what happened with that. Has Kenny left GoB, or is he just like on like a sabbatical or something? Or is there some sort of personal situation? Has there been a falling out? Why is there so much? What is all this drama concerning, like all this sort of South Yorkshire paranormal scene? What is all that about? All these sort of groups in South Yorkshire. So there's like Close to Britain, Mark Smith's PXTV. Oh, thank you, Karen. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, thank you for saying that. I didn't know. Oh, okay. I got the impression from something I heard Lindsay say last week that maybe Kenny was unhappy about something, but he was welcome back. Okay, I get it now. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't know that. Because I think, wasn't Kenny also involved in some of the nasty allegations in that allegedly libelous book? He was also involved with some of those. I wondered if it was to do with that, but no. Thanks for explaining. Yeah. So what is it with this South Yorkshire scene where there's Ghosts of Britain, PXTV, John Sixth, and then there's this group of these youngsters called George and Chloe, is it? G&C investigators or something? And there's some big rivalry going on, and this GNC have had things alleged that they've been doing involved in activity against John Sixth and GoB. Has anyone been following that? I'm afraid I'm kind of late onto the scene with all of that. I'm not really following it exactly. Obviously, I don't want to make false accusations, but why is it that GNC are called G&C investigators, not GNC investigations? Wouldn't it make sense that they're called GNC investigations? Because GNC investigators suggest that that George and Chloe have got investigators, but I thought they're just a couple who investigate themselves. Or do they collaborate? Have a team of people they investigate with? I don't know. It all seems a bit childish. All the stuff that's allegedly going on between those different teams. And I understand that's kind of to do with the solidarity between John Sixth and GoB in particular, because there was all that stuff going on around the time of that book, where like John Sixth was getting like a nasty phone call, and I know his car got vandalised supposedly recently, and there's been all sorts of accusations about who's involved in it. I don't understand why. It's all a bit odd. But I've not heard anything more about the book, and I've not heard anything about those ashes and Myra Henley. I can see there's people watching in the background. Do come in and say hello in the chat room. This is just a late night hangout, so it won't go on for too long. I haven't got any particular topic. There was another bit of drama, wasn't there? Around was it around before Christmas? And there was this big ding dong between Ouija brothers had visited the so-called Hell's House, and there was that broken plate incident. And then, as a consequence of that, some other paranormal channels were having a go at Ouija brothers, including, who was it now? Above Paranormal. Someone else. Who was it? Above Paranormal. Flicker. No, what's it called? Beatrice Bitch Witch or something. I can't remember the name. What the name of it is. And they did a live stream, and they were slagging off Ouija brothers. And then Griff of Ouija brothers was coming into the live stream. That was all a bit amusing. And then they started to be. Then Ouija brothers did a stream about it with Paranormal Truth. And there was a bit of and it was like kind of like Paranormal Truth and Ouija brothers on one side versus Above Paranormal. This we were like trying to defend. Oh yes, that's right. Elemental Encounters, who announced that they're no longer going to be regarding themselves as part of the paranormal scene. With all the fairy related stuff, and is she called Beatrice Bitch Witch or something like that? And so someone else, another woman I can't remember, partly Sammy of Afterlife, whatever it's called, versus kind of Ouija brothers and Paranormal Truth. And they got into a bit of a drama against each other. Oh, and I saw, of course, that in terms of more gossip, that I see that end of last year that Steve, is his name Stephen? Steve of Ouija Brothers and his brother, who was estranged from Dave from DNA. I see that they've reconciled because they did that live stream together, which was quite a surprise. But it's nice to see the two of them have reconciled with each other again. I thought that was good. That was good to see. I think that's quite a lot of the stuff that's been going on, hasn't it, the last couple of months there. I see that what did they call that's right, Ouija Brothers, I can't remember which one it was. One of them referred to Brett about Paranormal, and they said he looked like a melted welly. I think that's what they called him. Melted welly. Brett has banned me on his channel about Paranormal. I don't really know why. I was getting hounded by a couple of people on there. And I think he blocked me. I don't really know what I did, though. What other things? Oh, yeah. As I predicted, the trolls and the sock puppets are back on Nicky News channel, I see that the infamous Noel Campbell is back, and also the Saint, supposedly. Strange that they both came back on the same day. Coincidence or not coincidence? I don't know. I mean, it was bizarre enough that Baz got welcomed back after he called Nicky News channel the Ku Klux Klan of YouTube and all other sorts of stuff that he said about Nicky News channel and personal things he said about Nicky New. Apparently that gets all forgiven. It's all very strange. And now, as Nicky New's been saying numerous times over the last 2 months, Noel Campbell's welcome back. Noel Campbell's welcome back. Yet, as I proved and explained to Nicky New, and she understood at one point, Noel Campbell deliberately set out to attempt to destroy and discredit her Nicky News channel by going on Eileen Strong's channel and elsewhere and slagging Nicky News channel off under a different sock puppet name, which I proved was the same person. Yet apparently, excuse me, apparently though, according to Nicky New, Noel Campbell has never done anything against her. Well, he tried to discredit and bring damage to your channel and destroy the reputation of your channel by slagging your channel off. But it was actually the things that he said himself, which was pretty pernicious and malicious and deliberate. But apparently that's just forgiven. He didn't do anything. And he's welcome back as if nothing had happened. You know, it's very strange, the sort of people that Nicky News prepared to just forgive and just welcome back onto a channel. It's bizarre. Oh, I see that, and the Saint, apparently, if it was him, was back the other day as well. I mean, a whole group of us basically helped Nicky New when the Saint came onto her channel that time, and we basically ran him out of town because of what snake he was. Elizabeth says, "Lama, be nice. This is the past now, and you've moved on with your life now." Well, yeah, but I'm the one who's getting slagged off by all this crap that's been claimed about me, and this X, Y, and Z, as if I did something terrible. When all I ever did when I was on that channel was try to make it a safe place and support the channel owner. And I left the channel voluntarily. I decided to leave it. I wasn't kicked out, as people make out. I chose to leave. And then when the channel owner basically failed to show any loyalty or gratitude to two of the people that had done the most for her channel, probably at that point in time, she's held it against me ever since. Yeah, people who set out to say terrible things about her channel and attempt to slag off her channel and then go back on her channel and pretend it wasn't them that did it when it's been proven that it was the same person, is allowed to go back as if he never did anything. When it was his goal to set out to ruin the reputation of that channel. And supposedly he didn't do anything against her, according to Nikki New, which said the other day. I mean, it's bizarre. You know, it just shows that she's got no integrity or principles. And that video that America made was full of a load of crap. And I have all this false narrative that's put out by that channel owner all the time about X, Y, and Z, made a load of crap. And I'm saying stuff a little bit now, but for a very long time I was completely silent on it, and I didn't make any videos about it. They were talking about me incessantly. Well into January, they were still going on about me. All I ever did is set out to try and make that channel a safe place for the people who were there. Something that's very interesting, of course, is that when the likes of me and Elizabeth were on that channel, around the time of October, November, over a number of weeks, when at that time the channel, Nikki News channel, was broadcasting live daily, not 3 times a week as it does now, but it was doing it daily. And virtually every single day, we would have invasions of sock puppet people coming on to troll in sock puppet names, usually. And it wasn't just 1 or 2, it was like virtually every day, and it would be at least 1 or 2 people or more. And also, at least the accounts were more than a few, yeah? It must have been more than just 1 person. There was some sort of coordination behind it. I mean, one night there was there were 8 sock puppet accounts came on within half an hour. And this was going on, this was regular. This was a regular thing that was going on. You know, and then people trying to make out that I invented that this was going. No, this was going on all the time. This was going on before I was a moderator. I was made a moderator on the basis that I could help deal with that situation. And all those sock puppet trolls who were coming on to disrupt that channel and cause trouble with that channel kept on doing so. And of course, it's very interesting that since like early to mid-December, when Nikki New and Eileen Strong came to some agreement to not slag each other off anymore, that since they did that, and there's been that kind of, inverted commas, peace between the 2 channels, and supposedly they're separate, but they're not, because there's a couple of people who switch around between both channels, and that seems to be overlooked, but it does happen, even though I don't think they're supposed to. Anyway, ever since that happened in early mid-December, since that peace has broken out between Nikki New and Eileen Strong, it's very interesting that ever since that's happened, those sock puppet invasions that used to occur have completely stopped. So the question is that purely coincidence? Is that just coincidence, or is there a hidden hand behind it, relating to Eileen Strong's channel, that's caused that to stop? Because until that point, those sock puppet invasions were a regular event. They were like daily. So question is, why did they then stop after a proper peace broke out between Nikki New and Eileen Strong on a personal level? And I have a very interesting source of intelligence that I got third hand about that issue, dating back quite a time. I won't reveal that tonight, but That was a very interesting bit of intelligence that I got concerning those sock puppet invasions, and actually who was behind them and who knew that they were going on. Is the sound still good? It's got to must be about 11 now. So how about maybe thinking around to wrapping up this live stream. Maybe stay for another 5-10 minutes. So any suggestions of anyone listening of any songs that I should do for Eileen Strong as her prize for being my 200th subscriber? And let's open. Thank you, Elizabeth. Sounds still good. Thank you. And any let's just do an open floor now. So anything that anyone wants to ask about or talk about, anything like that, I'm happy to do that for the next 5-10 minutes. If anyone wants to ask anything, or they want to express a view, or anything they want to say about anything I've mentioned, or anything they want to ask me. But I predicted that sock puppets and the trolls would get back on that channel, and I was right. Oh, I've noticed that Private Eye is back on that channel as well. Another sock puppet. And I see that he's still maintained his moderator hammer, even though he resigned, but apparently he's got it back. I also saw that Nikki88 is back, and she's got her moderator hammer still. It was a moderator spanner still when she went on, so it had never been taken off. So things that Nikki New had said about, so it turns out that Nikki New misled people about that, not only once, but she did it twice. And the other issue that I have with GoB is not just the thing about why they do this odd thing with Mark Smith by keep collaborating with him, but why is it that, you know, my biggest gripe with Ghost of Britain, I don't have a problem with either of them personally, but Lee makes out that he's a skeptic, but whenever he goes anywhere or talks about anything, everything's always haunted. He never kind of, I don't know whether it's just I don't know whether it's intentional or it's just like lazy. But it's always, oh, this place is haunted, or this object is haunted, this place is haunted all the time. It's never like presented as if, oh, we're doing an investigation today, and we're doing an investigation where so and so place, and it's reputed to be haunted or supposedly haunted. No, it's never presented like that. That's my biggest beef with Ghost of Britain. But I think it's more laziness that it is a deliberate intention to deceive. What, you know, if he's a skeptic, surely he should be saying, "Oh, this is a place we're investigating. This place today. We'll see what we find, what we encounter, what activity occurs, and this is reputed to be haunted, or whatever." But he's never presented like that. It's always, this is haunted. This is haunted. This haunted building. This haunted building. This haunted doll. This haunted doll. Well, if you're a skeptic, surely you should be more cautious in how you present something. But I don't think it's necessarily intentional. I think it's just kind of laziness and being casual. But it's weird. The way he claims he's this big skeptic, yet he presents everything like, oh, this is haunted, this is haunted, this is haunted. And I don't think it's an unfair criticism to say people think basically just doing it just so they can make basically clickbaity titles saying, oh, we're at this haunted this, we're at this haunted that, we're at this haunted location. Because almost every location is haunted. Well, how do you know? If you're the skeptic and you're going there to investigate, unless it's somewhere you've been multiple times before and you've had activity there, how can you claim that? Why don't you say, oh, we're going to somewhere and it's reputed to be haunted, or supposedly haunted, or whatever word you want to use? That's my biggest gripe with Ghost of Britain. But I don't have any gripe with them personally in the way that I maybe would with, say, Mark Smith. Anyway, I'm going to close the live stream for tonight, I think. Thank you for everyone who's listened. And thank you very much to Elizabeth and Karen in particular for contributing in the live chat. Batman did earlier, but he seems to have disappeared. I tried to engage him, but then as soon as I did, he just went. But then I know that he's a bit of a troll. I think he's actually not really supposed to be here. Anyway, I was generous to him. So thanks very much for turning up. Do check out my other channel and my Facebook page. They're linked on the top right of my main channel page. If you haven't heard it yet, check out the video I did about Mark Smith when was it? November time. I did a song about Mark Smith. Check that out. I've got other videos that I've kind of been working on a little bit about Mark Smith. Come out sometime, I don't know when. But thanks very much, and good night to everyone. Bye for now.